Hello everybody, I'm Mordecai Lacrosse and you're watching Strange But True. And yes, we got some stories for you today in the Strange But True, and as you can see, I have a background going on here. Green screen. Sorry if it doesn't come out like particularly that great, if you will, because this is my first time actually using my green screen, but I figured, hey, might as well use the green screen for once and actually use it since I've had it for a while, so I figured I'd use it for this video in particular that you're watching right now. And so we're going to jump right into the first story. Think y'all are going to like it, so let's jump right into it. So the first story, if you will, is about a woman that was frozen, then thawed out, and she lived. And this all began on December 20th, 1980, where 19-year-old Jen Hillard's car hit the ditch. This was in Minnesota. She tried to walk for help, but on her way walking for help, she was found that next morning in the front of the yard of a local cattle rancher, frozen like a log. But that's not the miracle part. So they go to thaw her out, I guess, if you will, and that's where things get interesting.
To me, I just...
So the interesting fact is when they went to go put the IV in, they kept on breaking needles. They could not pierce the skin. And as you saw through that clip, she recovered perfectly fine. At one point, they thought they were going to have to amputate her feet because of frostbite. It completely, miraculously healed, if you will. They thought she was going to have brain damage because of the whole situation. In her mind, perfectly fine. By noon that day, she was talking coherently. In a handful of hours, she had gone from a block of ice to a scared teenager worrying about her dad finding out his car was in the ditch. University of Minnesota professor of emergency medicine David Plummer says this kind of thing happens occasionally. He's an expert at reviving people with extreme hypothermia. There's no real data, but he's handled about only 12 cases over the last 10 years. Only 12. But he explained that as a person cools down, their blood flow slows way down, so the body requires less oxygen. It's a form of hibernation. If their blood increases at the same rate as their body warms up, they can often recover. So it's a rare type of hibernation, not really possible, but somehow, if miraculously, the body temp cools down at the same time as the body cools down, and then vice versa, they can recover. He says, we have patients you can knock on like wood. They feel like solid frozen. That in no way dissuades us from the resuscitation attempt. We have track record of success with that. Emergency medicine, Plummer said the dictum is no one is dead until they're warm and dead. So the philosophy or the motto, if you will, is until they're warm, they're not dead, they're still alive. And I find this interesting, other than the fact that it's strange but true that she recovered. But I also find this interesting because maybe one day, knowing this research, we'll actually be able to cryogenically freeze people and bring them back. I mean, the fact of that particular fact that the woman was frozen all night and then a person stumbled upon her in the wee hours of the morning and she was able to be revived and perfectly fine. Maybe one day, cryogenically freezing people will be an option. Who knows? So this next part of this Strange But True video is about a Coke machine in Seattle that's basically nobody knows how it got there. Or at least at the time know how it got there. And not only that, it has a mysterious selection button, if you will. And that's what this particular story is about. Now, at the time when this soda machine was there, it had been there for 15 years. And unlike its like contemporaries that are flanked with buttons down the right side, it's presented in horizontal rows like at eye level, kind of like an old classic machine, Coke machine, if you will. It has the standards offerings: cola, root beer, dew, but it has this whimsical button that is a mystery button, and it results in a random selection. Now, that doesn't really mean a random selection from the other drink choices that I mentioned. It just means beverages so random that you couldn't even think of them if you were playing categories. Upon upon when these people writing this article, they gave this machine $3, and they received a Mountain Dew Whiteout, a raspberry flavored Nestea Brisk, a Hawaiian Punch, and a grape Fanta. It has been rumored that it also can give you vanilla Coke, black cherry Fresca, Sun Kiss cherry lemonade, and among a lot of other oddities that you wouldn't think this old classic machine has, but it does. It has all these things, and nobody knows who fills the machine up. They've done underground camera footage. I mean, they've recorded, if you will, had cameras there to try to see if they could find somebody that was actually filling it up, and no such luck. It's as if the machine fills itself up, or it's a ghost soda machine, which is probably why I'll put this video not only in the Strange But True playlist, but also the Paranormal Plus playlist, because it seems like this Coke machine was hunted. And the reason I say was hunted is because it is no longer there. Yeah, so it used to be there, but then at one point, for some reason, it is no longer there. According to the Wikipedia article, the that it was in operation since at least the early 90s and until its disappearance in 2018. And it's still to this day, it is unknown who stocked the machine. Also, the drinks that were ordinarily unavailable in the United States, or some that have been in 1980s, such as Mountain Dew Whiteout, a raspberry flavored Nestea Brisk, Hawaiian Punch, Grape Fanta, Vanilla Coke, Black Cherry Fresca. The locksmith in front of whose business the machine stood in front of claims to have no knowledge of who operated it. It's interesting. In January 2018, the same month that Seattle passed its sugary drink tax, the machine actually raised its prices from 75 cents to $1. But in June 2018, the machine mysteriously disappeared. What was interesting is somebody posted on the Facebook page that stating it was going for a walk and needed to find themselves and maybe take a shower even. A note was taped to the rail where the machine used to be, went for a walk. During this time, its Facebook page featured humorous Photoshop images of the soda machine and a forest and even at Machu Picchu. Point is, where this machine actually disappeared to is unknown. How the machine was there, unknown. How the machine continued to be filled with soda is unknown. Nobody even came to collect the money. So how was this machine doing what it did? Comment down below in the comment section of what you think was filling this soda machine. I'd like to hear your feedback. What do you think of this particular story? So if you will, the last story of this strange but true story is the stone spheres of Costa Rica. They are an assortment of 300 over petrosphere stones in Costa Rica on the Diqui Delta, or Isla del Cano, locally they're known as Polos de Petra, literally stone balls. The spheres are commonly attributed to the extinct culture that that was in Costa Rica before the Columbian era. They're the best known stone sculpture of the Istmo Columbian era. They're thought to be placed in lines along the approach to the houses of the chiefs, but their exact significance remains uncertain. They were originally found at a site where a company that where was it? What company was it? Uh, Anyways, they were added to the UNESCO World of Heritage Sites. In July 2014, the project had been proposed in 2011 to declare the spheres a national symbol of the country, and that was approved. The spheres range in size from a few centimeters to over 2 meters, or 6.6 feet in diameter, weigh up to 15 tons. Most are sculpted from gabbro, the coarse-grained equivalent of basalt. There are a dozen or so made from shell-rich limestone, and another dozen made from sandstone. Like I said, they're from a pre-Columbian era. Originally, the United Fruit Company had bought the area to put one of their companies, and that's where they found these stones while they were trying to build, their architects were trying to build the factory, and they found tons of these stones. They know that they are pre-Columbian. The stones are believed to have first been created around the year 600, with most dating to 1000 before the Spanish conquest. The only method available for dating carved stones is stratigraphy, but these stones are no longer in their original locations. The culture of the people who made them disappeared after the Spanish conquest. Now, what's interesting is is current research being done. The stone spheres are actually regarded as a national symbol. Numerous myths surround the stones, such as they supposedly came from Atlantis or that they were made as such by nature. Some local legends state the native inhabitants had access to potion able to soften the rock. Limestone, for example, can be dissolved by acidic solutions obtained from plants. Research led by Joseph Devitz of the Geopolymer Institute in France had been offered in support of this hypothesis. However, most of the spheres were created from gabbro, an acid-resistant indigenous rock, which means there's no chemical known to man to actually be able to break these rocks down because they're acid resistant. So how they were able to get like this in the first place is known. And the cosmogony of Rica, which is shared by the Cabaricas and the other American ancestral groups, the stone spheres are terrorist cannonballs. Terra, or Tetzatli, the god of thunder, used a giant blowpipe to shoot the balls at the Circes, god of winds and hurricanes, in order to drive them out of the lands, according to local mythology. It is claimed that these spheres are perfect or very near perfect in roundness. How this group of people were actually able to get these rocks like that, where the rocks are from, and what happened to the people is unknown. That's why it makes it in this strange but true video. So, anyways, if you like this kind of content, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified of future strange but true videos. And that's all we got for today. I'm Mordecai Lacrosse. As always, stay strange.